Hello, everyone. First of all, we're at our brand new Steiner Store, Roosevelt Field. I'm with the legendary Dr. K, Dwight Gooden. We're doing a little grand opening, fan appreciation. First of all, what do you think of the store? You've been to the old store. What do you think of this one?
I was at the old store. I love the old store. You have a lot of stuff in there as well. The new store, I hate to say this, but it blows it away. This is nice. I like the glass look, and I think the fans gonna love it. They did a great job.
Yeah, I love this store. But there's room to kind of like hang and watch the game and really get a feel when players come in. You have a little more room to breathe. It's been a couple crazy weeks for you and a long summer. How you feeling? How you doing?
I'm feeling great. Unfortunately, life just shows up at times. You do have some speed bumps that happens, and you know the real man shows that how he bounces up and how he reacts to different things that goes on. Unfortunately, we had some good friends. You know, I had some misunderstandings, I guess, in the papers. That's normally not my character to go back and forth in the paper. I just felt like I had to say something. But most importantly, I'm healthy. I'm doing well. I got my kids up with me now. They're doing well. Getting them all ready for school. Unfortunately, I lost my mom this summer. But this summer, for the most part, been great. You know, I got 3 anniversaries I'm celebrating this year. We got 30th anniversary with the Mets.
That's true.
86 World Series. Got 20th anniversary with the Yankees. Won the 96 World Series, and the 20th anniversary of my no-hitter, May 14.
Well, some people got milk. You got rings. There's no question. And we just did something the other night. You know, with the 96 reunion.
Yes.
You were here last week at the stadium celebrating. You know, we did our party at the city. You were great. People loved you, by the way.
That's
I mean,
good.
I don't know what. I'm always twisted with you because I love you as a Met.
Yeah.
Love you as a Yankee. You know, love you as a person. You know, you've just been such a good person to us, and I want people to know that nobody. I mean, he had a lot of speed on your fastball, but you couldn't even measure the speed and the depth of your heart. You've always been a great person to work with, and I want people to know that for the last 25 years, we've been blessed to have this relationship, and I never had any confidence, even the last few days. I knew, you know, we talked over the few days, and everything was cool, and I thought it was just good to come here and just kind of. We had this planned anyway, and I never doubted you were going to be here. I just figured it would be good to kind of come and talk to our Steiner fans and talk to people, let them know you're okay. So it's a big year for you.
It's a great year, and thanks for all the kind words. And I feel the same about you. I remember when we first started with our relationship, you know, way back in the early 80s. First got to New York in 1984. You've been the same guy. You got a lot of success, but nothing's changed. You know, you love people. You put people first. That's what it's all about. It shows the character of your heart and how big your heart is. And we're happy to be a friend. Happy to take part in the Steiner family. You guys have always been great to me. Definitely happy to be here for the grand opening. And this has been a tough week, but things happen. You have true friends that support you.
Are you surprised, and thank you, Doc, but are you surprised at how many people love you and the fans? And even though it's a little bit of a confusing message, the outpour of people that really love you, admire you, and are fans of you.
That makes you feel good because I've been through a lot of ups and downs. The fans, even family members, they could have turned their back a long time ago. I don't understand that. But they've always been there and always supportive. And like you said, you know, when you talk about a baseball player and a person, when you're dealing with life and the fans always been there, that's a tremendous feeling, home-warming feeling, heart-warming feeling. And to be here and be part of New York, that's why New York's my home. I always tell people I was born in Tampa, I was raised in New York, and I can't thank the fans enough for all the support they've given me through all the ups and downs. It's just a tremendous feeling, and it means a lot to me.
It's an unusual situation. You play for the 86 Mets. It's such a crazy team. But then you also play in the Bronx, and those teams were crazy. I mean, when you look back at your career, I mean, do you sometimes go, wow, I mean, how did I get mixed up with all that? And what stands out for you the most?
I think the most thing, first of all, I was very fortunate, very blessed to play with both New York teams and win the World Series with both New York teams. Winning with the 86 Mets when they hadn't, you know, they'd been playoff in 73, but they hadn't won since 69. Then to do it with the Yankees in 96, my first year there, the team left that won in 86, and they hadn't been to playoffs since 73, if my memory serves me correctly. But we had to take part of both teams and both sides and share the different experiences with both fans in the Bronx and Queens. Tremendous feeling, being loved by all New York fans. You know, like I said, through the ups and downs, it was just great. And that's what I meant this year, being able to go on the field in May to celebrate with my 86 Met teammates in the organization. I've always been a Met at heart. I mean, I love the Yankees organization, nothing against them. I'm on a Met at heart, and then getting to do that a week ago with the Yankees on that field and celebrate. It's just been a tremendous spot. I've been blessed in many ways, and every day just a blessing.
We're at Roosevelt Field, the Steiner Store, the grand opening, and we just opened up about 3 weeks ago. If you're in the area, come on by. We're going to be here for a couple hours. I'm going to be signing books, Dwight signing balls, and just grateful for that, being a mall like this. And you know, I've known you for a long time, but I've actually felt like, and what's so ironic, even when I picked up the paper the other day, is I feel like you actually have better energy the last few weeks, last month, than maybe I haven't seen in a while. And I know you had some ups and downs, but am I reading you wrong, or are you feeling a little? Actually, you feel like you're actually on the other direction, feeling pretty good.
Things are feeling great, and I think that the things I had the last couple of days was a test to really see where you was at. I was testing people. I got back into the church a couple weeks ago. Went through a tough time with my mom. Passed away in July. But I seek help for that. Dealing with depression with that. Got some great medication. Things started going up, and then I guess this came and say, okay, let's see where you're really at. Let's throw a bone out there and test you where you're really at, and that's fine. I think I handled it well, and my family's doing a good job handling that as well. Kids love me. Kids know what's going on. And, like I said, I'm fine, I'm healthy, I haven't done anything wrong, haven't broke the law, anything like that. So things are getting better. Like you said, I remember coming to your store, coming to your office maybe 3 months ago. I wasn't that healthy. That's when I was in the massive depression mode right at that point. So I knew my mom was at the end.
I remember you telling me that. I remember you got emotional about it. And you were a little down.
Yeah, once I got through that and got in the meds and started talking to people about it, that had some of the same experiences, things got better. Things are going a lot better now. I'm accepted. I don't think I ever get over her not being here. But look at it now that I didn't lose my mom. Good God, I actually gained an angel. So things make it better for me now.
So while we're on that subject matter, and if you have some questions, if you want to email them in or ask, we're going to try to answer some of them right now. But what's your message to fans out there? What can they do to support you, and what can fans do? But you have such a big fan base. I mean, I always knew you were popular, but your fan base, your popularity, and my phone ringing off the hook today with people concerned and just generally asking to meet you and everything else. What's your message to fans out there?
Really, my message to the fans is just I'm overwhelmed by the love and support you guys give me throughout the years. Not only me, through my family, when I'm going through deaths of my family, when I'm going through recovery situations, or just bad days. They've always been there. And I would say I'm overjoyed by it. If I could think each fan personally, I would do that. And I'll say, don't change a thing. Keep what you're doing. I'm going to give you my best every day. I'm not perfect. But every day, I'll give you 100% on the field and off the field, where I'm working with some kids or when I'm just living my life and trying to help others.
Now, is there some stuff that fans can look forward to these next few months? What are some of the things you're going to be working on? Because I know you're always doing clinics, you're doing some stuff, always community service work. Is there anything you want to jump out and say?
Yeah, I think the main thing we're doing now, we just started this project. We're helping underprivileged kids and helping those kids that are getting in trouble, but find out more about it. We can send them to a ranch. And actually, I have a good friend of mine that was actually my criminal judge, back in 06.
Really?
We're getting a program together where, like, when these kids get in trouble, we're not just sending them to prison. Let's find out what they're doing. Let's put them in a home. Let's educate these kids first. Let's give them a chance and see what's going on. Because a lot of these kids, unfortunately, they're getting in trouble. Because the parents are in jail, the parents have a drug problem, something's going on. But let's just find out what's really going on and find a deeper issue.
So that's a big part of what you're going to be working on is helping kids in the community.
Helping kids in the community, share my life experiences, and that's great therapy for myself as well. Doing that, and also giving the parents a chance. Some of these parents are maybe incarcerated and different things happen. But let them know there's still support there, and you still have a chance with your life to go on. Everybody deserves a second chance.
I love that. That's nice. That's a big part of what you're going to be doing.
Yes.
Ben, got a couple questions? We're at the Steiner Store with Dwight Gooden.
Questions, if we can jump back.
A couple baseball-related questions is great.
Playing for the Yankees and the Mets, two of the marquee organizations in the major leagues. What's that like as you reflect on that?
Playing for two different things. One of those I noticed was being with the Mets. Obviously started my career there. Playing like guys, I played the minors to win. The message there was always, besides '86, was let's stay healthy. Let's give ourselves a chance to win come September. With the Yankees, it was no, like the spring training, no team meetings. Mr. Steiner always came in and said, look, our goal is to win the World Series. I was a failure. Go out and practice. Let's get ready for the season. And that was it.
Really?
Yes.
Now, how close were you with George? I mean, Darryl talks a lot about George being almost like a father figure to him and bringing back his career, and he went through a lot. How close was George with you?
George is great. One of the things that sticks out, and I'm going to try to say this without getting teared up, me and George was always close. He always told me as a kid that I was going to play with him one day. But one thing that sticks out to me most with George, when my dad was sick, he was on a dying bed, and actually the gentleman's here, Randy Grove, where George was flying in from New York for a meeting in Tampa. He ran into Ray at the complex. He said, how's his dad? He said, he's at the hospital now, he's not doing too well. He saw Ray and tell those guys, Brian Cashman, all these guys to say, I'll be back. Never went in for the meeting, came to the hospital, spent an hour and a half with me and my dad, and probably gave my dad an extra 3 days on his life.
Hold on, George Steiner came to the hospital to be with you and your dad.
Came to the hospital with me and my dad, just me and him and my dad in the room. And my dad was at the end. I mean, the meeting was beaten. It gave him probably another 3 days on his life. that day I'll never forget the rest of my life. And not just saying what he meant to me and the things he taught me about the game. And when I retired working for George and taking flights with him, just met him on his private plane. I had to know the man that a lot of people didn't get to know, and I will always cherish those moments.
He was special, so special. I love hearing stories like that because, people don't always see that side of Mr. Steinbrenner. It's amazing.
He's an incredible man.
It's from Danny. What was it like pitching a no-hitter?
What was it like pitching a no-hitter? And I know it was great for us because we made so much money on that photo. I mean, it was such a surprise. People didn't see that coming. Remember, we just kept having amazing how many people wanted that photo. But there's a little story behind that no-hitter.
Yes. The photo was nice, actually. I just don't like the haircut. I mean, it was the wrong day to have a bad hair day. But,
you had a bad hair day that day.
That was a bad hair day. But, that pitching no-hitter and the Yankees, like I said, the story behind that, I started off 0-3. And if you ever heard of a starting pitcher being benched, Joe Torre actually benched me. Starting pitcher actually being benched. I mean, in blowout games, whether you're blowing the team out or they get blowout, you don't get in the game. You're just there. Unfortunately, my good friend, still today, David Cohn, got the aneurysm. That's how I got back to the rotation. My third start back in, which the start before that was Detroit, I didn't go up a hit in that game after the second inning. A lot of people didn't know that. And then my next start, obviously against Seattle, pitched a no-hitter, which that day I was actually supposed to go home and be with my dad, who was having open heart surgery the next day. He had been on dialysis for 15 years. Because of his health was deteriorating, they didn't think I'd make it through the surgery. But they said if they did do the surgery, he really had no chance. That morning, I felt like he would probably want me to pitch. So I called my mom. So I was coming, I wasn't coming home. I was going to pitch. She was trying to talk me into coming home. I ended up hanging up the phone with my mom. I called Joe Torre, who was the manager. Said, come in to pitch. She said, no, go spend time with your dad. I said, no, I'll see you tonight. The first 2 minutes of that game, I was standing in the hallway between the clubhouse and the dugout, tearing up, wondering if I made the right decision or not. Not till the 6th inning when I realized I had the no-hitter. You're looking at the scoreboard to see who you're going to face in the Seattle batting order. You see no runs, no hits, no errors. The heart started pumping a little faster, the anxiety started kicking in. I was able to put my dad's situation aside and finish the next game. And Girardi was awesome back there that day, who called my no-hitter. Ended up pitching no-hitter, and when the teammates carried me off the field, I pumped my hands. I mean, I was going through all the different emotions. Is my dad going to be okay? I just pitched a no-hitter at Yankee Stadium with all the history there. A year before I was suspended from baseball, not knowing if I ever make it back to New York. So all different emotions going through my hand. And
your dad giving you a lot of strength that day?
He gave me a lot of strength. And it definitely was a power grade in myself that was there with me. Because you think about it, Seattle had the best hitting team in baseball in '96. This is my third start back into the rotation. I started 0-3. I'm just pitching no hit against these guys with Griffey, A-Rod, Edgar Martinez, Jay Bruno.
That was no fluffer nerd lineup like the lineup that maybe Wells or even Cone. That was not the best lineups they faced in the perfect games. You faced a real man's up lineup.
That was a real lineup, and that ballpark. And I mean, I had 6 walks. And I forget my good friend and pitcher coach Mel Starr coming to the mound in the 9th inning because the score was 2-0. I walked the first 2 guys and said, "How we doing?" I said, "It doesn't matter. I'm not coming out, Mel. You got to give me a shot. You have to give me a shot." He said, "It's yours." And then end up Sorrento popping the ball up, for a third out was just something I'll never forget.
How much of an how much of an impact is a David Cohn? You guys, played together a long time. He's kind of like this unsung hero, but a lot of players say that he has a profound effect on you because he was such a gamer and such a supporter in the dugout in the clubhouse. Did he have a profound impact on you, David Cohn?
A lot of impact on me, especially my first year coming to the Yankees. It's a big difference. People don't think that, probably not so much now with all the interleague play, but coming from National League to American League is a big adjustment. And having David there to talk with me and tell me about the adjustments you have to make in the league, because when we played together in the Mets, when he came to the Mets in '87, I still was young, so I was still a power guy. When I came to the Yankees, I wasn't really that power guy. I was more of a complete pitcher. And just talking to him about pitching guys backwards and certain guys read the bat speed more, pitch to the ballpark and stuff like that, he was very helpful. And like you say, no matter how he was doing or what he was going through, he was always right there in the dugout when I was pitching to support me and help me through the innings.
Yeah, he was one of those guys you love. We're at the Steiner Store with Dwight Gooden. We just actually opened this store at Roosevelt Field. If you're in the area, come by. Also, if you share this post, we're going to be signing some balls and giving them away over the next couple hours with Ben. And we're reading off your questions. We're trying to get through them as much as we can. So thank you for being with us. And Dwight, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for
Take a
having me,
few more questions, but I could talk to you all night because the experiences on and off the field have been unbelievable.
Thank you.
Next question was, what's your favorite sport other than baseball?
Were you one of those guys who could play everything?
Pretty much. I played baseball, basketball, football. Believe it or not, at home on Sundays, church in the morning, I'm shut off the rest of the day watching football. I'm a New York Giants fan. I'm a little worried about this year. I know it's preseason, but it's not looking too good. We need a running game. We got 10 running backs, but we don't have that real running back yet.
But if you didn't play baseball, let's say, what sport would you have played? What was your second sport?
Football. Football's my second sport. I'm not sure about a major in football, but I think that would be my best shot. football.
What position?
Quarterback.
You were a QB.
Quarterback, I had a good arm. I could run a little bit, believe it or not.
And you could run.
I can run. I had a great arm, a very accurate arm, but I can run a little bit. I've run a lot better than I did when I was playing baseball.
I mean, but you had that tough little chip on your shoulder too. You weren't afraid of anybody.
I wasn't afraid. I just brought it. Well, I guess that's where I was raised with my parents. And my parents brought me up as warriors. I mean, even my mom. I mean, they gave her like 7 months to live. She got two extra years in. So I get a lot of my strength from my mom, and my dad was a warrior. So that's where it comes from. And in high school, I was thin. I mean, I probably was thinner than what I am now, but I was tough. And my kids were the same way. I raised them to be tough.
Now, Gary Sheffield, was he like in your groove there as far as all these other sports, playing with him, or was he a little older?
He's actually young. He's 4 years younger, but Gary grew up as like my younger brother. My sister had him very young. We grew up in the same house. At one time, shared the same bed. My dad taught him to give him baseball as well. And Gary, the funny thing about Gary was a great football player as well. He went in high school. He played junior high, PAL and all that stuff. High school, he didn't play. Went to senior in high school. Even though after junior, he was rated like the top baseball player in the country. Wow. He went to senior high school to play football and play running back. Only way my dad found he was playing football, I was reading the paper one day and saw Sheffield X amount of yards rushing. My dad went crazy to get him for playing football. Really
now,
nice.
A quick question: the 30 for 30, and we've all seen it on ESPN. It was well done. Happy with the way that turned out? Was it accurate or a little wobbly? But sometimes those things don't always come out the way you think.
That's true. I mean, it was accurate. I do say that everything that they showed, I did it. But those things happened years ago. It was nothing new. I thought they could have showed a little bit more of the positive stuff I was doing, but they get film of that. Yeah, I filmed my cookout at the house with my mom and all my family around, the people talking. They went to one of my speeches when I was speaking, to kids. They had that just to show what is he doing now. They didn't show that, and it's almost like they wanted to paint this picture, and now I see why the picture was painted on this follow-up thing. You know what I mean? But I agreed to do it. Only thing that happened, I agreed when I saw the paper that I could see the final finish before it was printed. I didn't get to see that.
Do you?
Well, I stand by it.
It happens.
Yeah, it
but
happens.
do you believe that we're all bigger than our worst mistake? I mean, do you believe that?
Yes, I do believe that. I mean, we make mistakes, and a lot of times, your best experience is from your own mistakes, and you learn from that. And if you learn from that and move on, you learn something. But if you keep competing the same things and keeping the same results, that's where the problem stands. But we're all human. I'm gonna make mistakes more in my life. I know that. Just hopefully, I don't make the mistakes I made before.
I've seen you through thick, thin, 86. I mean, we're 30 plus years here. What's the dream you have now for you and your family? What's your dream?
My dream now is just being successful and seeing my kids. It's not about sports, just having a good life, respecting people, and just being successful in corporate America. And my dad used to always tell me, a life is useless unless you can touch another life, and I believe that. Just putting a smile on a stranger's face every day, that's my goal.
I love that. Love that. We'll do a couple more questions real quick, and we're going to get going with the fans. We're at Roosevelt Field with Dwight Gooden, our new Steiner store. If you share this, which we're grateful you're tuning in, we're going to give away some Dwight Gooden balls throughout the next couple hours while he's here. So just plug on in and ask a question. You'll be automatically entered. Ben, a couple more questions.
This is from Michael. Did you collect baseball cards as a kid and also autographs? Getting autographs from players like you?
Were you a collector? Were you somebody who put some stuff away? You've had more than enough stuff to collect.
It's funny. I'm probably the only guy. I'm the biggest baseball fan you'll ever meet. When I was a kid, we didn't have balls and stuff. I grew up in the city, so we didn't have. But I used to get a soda can, and bam it down and make a flat like a ball. I'll have a stick thrown up in the yard, and they used to call me like the neighborhood alarm clock because I get up early on Saturdays and Sundays.
Really?
I was going to hit the balls. But the only thing with bubblegum cards, the opposite was, most guys got the gum to get the cards. I had the cards because I like the bazooka gum. I got the gum. But the first autograph I ever got was from Pete Rose. Grew up in Tampa, Cincinnati Reds had spring training in Tampa in the 70s. And my dad took me to all the spring training games. They played in Lakeland against the Tigers, which was about a 30-minute drive. So it was a broad game. We were leaving the game that day, and Pete Rose was walking out. My dad said, "There's Pete." So back then you had the Polaroid cameras. My dad took the camera.
Now, Polaroid camera would be you take a picture, you get the photo right away. Yeah.
Yes.
Just want to make sure because that's a long time ago. We are a little older.
So he took the picture. I got the picture of me and Pete. But the beauty of that story was I made the team in '84, and we opened up in Cincinnati. So I went out early to watch him take batting practice because that was my team as a kid. Pete was the first guy to come over and congratulate me about making the team. And I was telling him about the picture, which he didn't remember. Later that summer when they came to New York to play, I had my dad bring the picture up to show Pete to get it signed. So that was like the highlight of my autograph things right there.
Who was your idol growing up? I know your dad was a big impact, but was there a player you kind of looked at and kind of said, wow, I want to be a little like him?
Pete was my guy. Growing up, because, pitching was my thing, but I always wanted to be a hitter. So Pete Rose was my guy. I like Nolan Ryan, J.R. Richards, Mike Schmidt, Del Murphy, those were my guys. So in '84, I got to play against those guys.
Love
on
that.
the same All-Star team with those guys. It was definitely a dream come true. And Al Kaline, yes.
Al
Kill all brain
Kaline.
cells, thank you.
It's funny how Al Kaline sometimes gets forgotten,
security, get
but
that
what
guy
a
out
great
of here.
player. And he's got a lot of friends and fans that are here. I love it. A couple more questions, Ben.
That's good. I forgot, yeah.
Would you rather be remembered as a Yankee or a Met?
Oh, wow.
That's a tough one.
Wow.
That's from Dave.
Wow. I mean, that's a two-headed question. I guess if I can answer it my way, I grew up with the Mets and family. I'm always going to be a Met. I'm proud of being a Met. I'm in the Mets Hall of Fame. I love the Will Ponds.
I mean, Dwight, you realize this town, which is not an easy town to stop, would stop when you pitched. It didn't slow down. It stopped. You couldn't get into a bar. If you were a Met fan, Yankee fan, didn't matter. You were pitching. You either got to the stadium or you plugged in on TV. You were like, I mean, it was lights out. When you on the afternoons you pitched, people took days off. That was it. Right? You realize that, right?
Now I do. You know, when you're playing, the fun thing about that, Brandon, when I was playing, you're not aware of the things you're doing. That this game is bigger than just winning and losing to some families. And I feel like I'm just doing a job here. I'm a young kid from Tampa, just enjoying my dream, living out the goal. And then now when I'm retired, you should hear people tell different stories. I watch a lot of film myself now because not that I didn't enjoy it when I was playing, but I don't think I really appreciated it as much as I should have because it just felt like it was a job and you should be doing these things. So now when I look back and do that, and you hear people say, "Oh, you really touched your life, no matter what was going on in my life." For 12 years pitching, everything was great. Now I'm starting to understand that, and you know, I give all the glory to God for doing that and working through me. But it's a good feeling to have to know that you did do that. And now these people give me the same level of support when they touch me when I'm going through ups and downs.
Got one more, Ben?
Yeah, a couple more. Bunch of
Okay.
people have asked your favorite ballpark to play.
Favorite ballpark playing with Shea Stadium. I love the old Yankee Stadium, but the old Yankee Stadium was more of a hitter's park. But to pitch there and say that, you know, Whitey Ford, all these great guys pitched there. My good friend Nelson, all these guys pitched there in the park. Baby Ruth that played there, it was great. But pitching at Shea Stadium for me in the 80s, having the home crowd behind me, and having two strikes and everybody standing up clapping, for me, there's no better feeling.
One more.
Hold on. Who's your current favorite MLB player and why?
Well, probably my current player, probably Matt Harvey's my best friend as a player. We're still pretty close. I pissed him off last year in the playoffs, but I had to make sure he pitched. But as far as the guy to watch, I'll probably say Fernandez down in Miami. I know he's from Cuba originally, but went to high school in Tampa. He told me when I met him a couple years ago he wore 16 because I wore 16. But he played against my nephew who was here, playing against him in high school. So he's probably my favorite, even though I analyze the Mets and Yankee pitchers more.
Can Matt Harvey make it? I mean, he's been through a lot.
Yeah.
He's probably really nervous, having gone through some of this. Can somebody with this kind of mindset make it back and make it back the right way? Are you confident?
I think if it's possible, if the second injury he got, I'm familiar with Tommy John. The second guy, I've never heard of him. But I think if anybody can make it back, he has the desire to do that. I mean, he works harder than anybody. He don't get a lot of credit for his work guy. I know they talked about him hanging out, but this guy works so hard. He wants to be a winner. He wants to be in the spotlight. He wants to do those things, but he does put in the work. And I said if anybody can make it back, he can. I'm definitely pulling for him. I like to see him back on the mound.
We're here at Dwight Gooden at the Steiner Store. One more question, Ben. Got one more?
After Davey Johnson, your favorite manager?
After Davey Johnson, your favorite manager?
After David Johnson, after David Johnson, I think we cool. Probably go with Joe Torre. Joe Torre was great. We came into the Yankees at the same time in 1996, and he helped me a lot. He helped him a lot. I thought starting off, and we're good friends today. He's doing some great things, in the community, and I love his thing with domestic foundation he has.
Safe at Home. It's a great organization. And, Joe is just—he's an amazing person.
He's amazing. He's solid every day. Same guy, and the thing that's more proud of. And tell you how he's an inspiration for me. Here's a guy, just say on the field. Obviously, we know this is hard off the field. He started managing with the Mets, then went to the Braves, Cardinals. And said, he didn't know this, he didn't know that. And they come to the Yankees, he's a Hall of Fame manager. So I tell you, it doesn't matter how you start, it's how you finish. And why I say it's an inspiration to me, because it doesn't matter how many times you fall down, it's how many times you get up.
Well, let's recap for a minute. I mean, we've been talking for a while, and I've known you for a while, but you seem like you're in good spirits. You seem like, to me, I mean, the blessing is that your go-forward plan is helping kids, getting back in the community, which you've been doing. You just plan on doing more of it. Seems like everything's good at home. You seem like you're healthy and good mindset. Am I reading you wrong, or?
No, things are right there. I mean, obviously, when you first start hitting those things, they hurt. I mean, I'm human. I have feelings. You get hurt by it, especially the people that you care about and you consider friends. They do hurt, but then I'm the type of guy that like to evaluate things and see what I could have done differently or what could have happened differently or what part I played in it. And after that, it's okay, it happened, but I got to move on. I can't let it keep me down because one thing I learned in recovery, self-pity will kill you. So self-pity, you can't let it just, you deal with your feelings, you talk to somebody that you feel comfortable with talking with, and you move on. And helping others get you out of yourself, get you out of your own feelings by helping others. I've learned that. And my true passion is working with kids. I mean, they get a lot of questions. Why you ain't coaching? Why you not coaching majors? I tried that with the Yankees a couple of times, but my true passion is helping kids. There's nothing better than putting a smile on a kid's face. I love that.
So what's the best possibility, if we're here a year from now or 3 years from now, what's the best possibility for you and your family and your life? What do you see? Tell us what that crystal ball is going to look like down the road.
Well, if I could, I mean, God willing, and I'm still here, and health is good. Just everybody's healthy, everybody's happy, and helping others. Like my kids, I have a lot of kids playing sports. I have 11-year-old who loves sports. My 21-year-old, he's 6'7" or whatever, he loves sports. I got a nephew to get into it. But it's not, I mean, it's making the sports, that's great. I'm proud of you, but it's not, unless you're a good person, you're helping others, doing something in the community, that's what it's all about. And I expect to be doing the same thing.
Final message before we deal with all the fans that are here to see you. A message out there, because a lot been written, a lot been said. Anything you want to say? Final word?
I just appreciate all the support. I am healthy. I am here, and I'll be here for a while. I do make mistakes. My health is good, but the support you guys give me is untouched and it's very touchful, and I really appreciate that.
Well, Dwight, you know how I feel about you, and I really appreciate the relationship. I cannot believe the love and that it's insane how many people just have reached out to us and just in general that care about you, which is really a testament to the kind of person you are. Thank you for this relationship, and listen, God bless you. I hope everything works out well. You're special, and I hope that you know it.
Thank you, Brandon. I appreciate it. I definitely cherish our relationship that we've had over the years. You're a good man as well.
Thank you. All right. Well, thanks for joining in. We're always going to be back with something else. I just thought this was important, and it's just great to have Dwight here. If you're nearby, you want to come by, come visit, and hopefully we're going to give away a bunch of autographed things, so Ben will be in touch with you. Just keep your eye on the Facebook tonight. See if you've won something from Dr. K. Thank you, everybody.